Hello, it's Peter Bradshaw here again from The Guardian, and welcome to this film review channel to which I hope you will subscribe and leave a comment. Steve McQueen's monumental Occupied City is a vast survey meditation on the wartime history and psychogeography of his adopted city, Amsterdam, based on his partner Bianca Stigter's Dutch language book, Atlas of an Occupied City, Amsterdam 1940 to 1945. With a calm voiceover from Melanie Hymes, the film tracks the day-to-day life all over the city of Amsterdam under Nazi rule, spanning the invasion, the establishment of the collaborationist Dutch Nazi Party, the NSB, the increasingly brutal repression and deportation of Jewish populations to the death camps, and then the hunger winter of 44 to 45, as food and fuel became scarce in the city and the Nazis displayed a gruesome mix of panic and fanaticism as the Allies closed in.
In May 1940, Amsterdam was taken over by the Germans. Immediately, they set the clock forward, so it was the same time in Amsterdam as in Berlin. The weather report disappeared from the newspapers. It was now a military secret. All streetlights were turned off. Dutch organizations were Nazified or forbidden. Soon, the Nazis started to ban Jews from parks, pools, shops, cafes and schools, from all public life. Music by Jewish composers could no longer be played. In 1941, they started rounding people up. In 1942, the deportations began.
What McQueen does is effectively represent the maps and figure legends of the book in screen form. The camera shows us the modern-day indoor and outdoor scenes in individual streets, canals, squares, buildings and jetties where the barbarity unfolded, but shows them as they are now, with modern 21st century people going about their business, while Hymes's narration coolly summarises what happened in each particular spot, sometimes adding that the original building is, say, demolished. A prison yard where Jews were forced to parade around chanting, "I am a Jew, beat me to death, it's my own fault," is now an open space overlooked by the Hard Rock Cafe. Sometimes there is a disconnect between past and present. The site of a bygone horror might, in 2024, be a scene of happiness, people ice skating on a frozen canal and generally having innocent fun. At some other place, we see an actual commemorative event, the laying of wreaths, and at other times there will be a parallel. In the Dam Square, the Nazi occupiers erected a bandstand. Now we see a stage for outdoor performance. And then there will be other serious engagements with history and politics. We see an official statement of apology for colonialism and slavery. We see a huge and boisterous climate strike by young people and an event in aid of the murdered Dutch investigative journalist Peter R. de Vries. Here the effect is to show us that the past and present are not clear, distinct layers of old significant and new insignificant. It is more fluid than that. Occasionally, there is a weird frisson. Some of McQueen's footage was shot during the COVID lockdown, and the juxtaposition of this with the Nazi oppression takes us, unintentionally, perhaps a little close to GB News territory. And audiences for this film might be surprised at how very little emphasis is placed on Anne Frank. It could well be that McQueen wanted to take us away from well-trodden arguments, and certainly to move away from the modern tourist cliches of coffee shops and sex worker windows, although on that last point there is another eerie historical echo in the way in which sexual activity between occupier and occupied was variously policed, tolerated and punished. In its scale and seriousness, Occupied City allows its emotional implications to amass over the running time. The effect is mysterious and moving. Okay, that's it for the time being. Please give this vlog a like and a share on social media, and please subscribe to this channel. Please also buy my book, The Films That Made Me, an edited selection of my essays and reviews for The Guardian. Please also listen to the podcast I'm doing with the extremely fab film writer Emilia Rolowitz, A Matter of Life and Film. See you next time.